Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my 30 days of JavaScript LeetCode challenge. Today we will solve a timer problem where a function must run immediately and then repeat every t milliseconds until someone cancels it. So the question explanations goes like this. The problem gives us three things: a function, an array of arguments, and an interval time t. We must call function of array of arguments immediately at time 0, then call it again every t milliseconds. Our cancelable function should return a cancel function. The test harness will call setTimeout with parameters cancel function and cancel time millisecond. If cancel function runs before some scheduled invocations, those future invocations must stop. If cancellation happens after some invocations, the previous calls still happen. So let's see the examples that we have been given. There are total 3 examples. Let's see example number 1. Example 1 says that function multiplies by 2, args equals to 4, and t equals to 35. The test cancels at 190 milliseconds. So at 0 millisecond, we call function of 4 immediately and get 8. After that, every 35 milliseconds, we call it again 35 milliseconds, 70 milliseconds, 105 milliseconds, 140 milliseconds, 175 milliseconds, each time returning 8. At 190 milliseconds, the cancel function runs. By then, the call at 175 milliseconds already happened. So, cancel only prevents any further calls after 190 milliseconds. So, we see output at 0, 35, 70, 105, 140, 175, all 8. And in example number 2, a function multiplies two numbers, args equals to 2, 5 and t equals to 30. The test cancels at 165 milliseconds. Timelines. Let's see the timelines. 0 millisecond, immediate call, 2 into 5 equals to 10. Then calls at 30 milliseconds, 60 milliseconds, 90 milliseconds, and so on, all returning 10. And at 165 milliseconds, cancel runs. Too late to stop the call at 150 milliseconds. So it only stops anything after 165 milliseconds. So we saw output at 0, 30, 60, 90, 120 and 150. And let's see the third example. Function adds 3 numbers. Args equals to 5, 1, 3. That means 5 plus 1 plus 3. And t equals to 50. That means the time interval is 50 milliseconds. Cancel at 180 milliseconds. So at 0 milliseconds, immediate call will go 5 plus 1 plus 3 equals to 9. Then at 50 milliseconds, every 50 intervals and 100 millisecond, 150 millisecond, we get more calls that return 9. At 180 milliseconds, cancel runs after the 150 millisecond call, so nothing more runs. So outputs will be at 0, 50, 100, 150, all returning 9. And now let's see the thought process. How do we implement this? JavaScript gives a set interval to run a callback every t milliseconds and clear interval to stop it. We also need to call the function immediately, time 0. So the plan goes like: step 1, call function right away for the 0 millisecond run. Now, step 2, start an interval with set interval, arrow function, function of arguments, t. So it repeats every t. And last but not the least, return a cancel function that calls clear interval id This stops further interval callbacks because cancel function closes over interval ID. It can clear the correct interval even after cancelable has returned. Here we can see the code goes like line number 1, where cancelable equals to function of fn comma args comma t. Here we declare the cancelable function which accepts the function fn and array args and interval t. In second line, fn and array of arguments. This line calls fn immediately with the provided arguments. This produces the time 0 milliseconds at 0 milliseconds execution required by the problem. Line number 3, const interval id equals to set interval array function of arguments comma t. We create an interval using set interval. The arrow function calls function of arguments every t milliseconds. Set interval returns an interval id which we store. We will need this id to cancel the interval later. Now in fourth line, we can see return function, cancel function, clear interval id. We return a cancel function that when invoked calls clear interval id that stops all future repeated calls. If cancel fn is invoked after the last scheduled call already ran, clear interval does nothing, which matches the problem requirements, and at the end the cancelable function. And in addition, we can also see the edge cases. Call intervals after the interval already fired is safe. It simply has no effect. We call function of arguments immediately before starting the interval, so the first call is exactly at the time 0 millisecond. The return cancel fn is captured in a closure and can be invoked later by the test harness via setTimeout, which takes the parameter cancel fn and cancel time milliseconds. Now let's run the code and submit the code. Yeah, that's the interval cancellation problem. We call the function immediately, repeat it every t milliseconds and set interval, and stop it with clear interval when the cancel function is called. If this helped, like, comment your thoughts and subscribe for the next problem. And please share me the feedback. How do you like the video? What can I improve in my next videos? And see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Thank you.